So before we begin today's episode, we have an advertisement. Goggler is proud to support, once again, the Japanese Film Festival 2025, which is brought to you courtesy of Japan Foundation Kuala Lumpur. This time it runs from 10th of September all the way to 19th of October, kicking things off in the Klang Valley before moving to Penang on the 18th, Johor Bahru on the 25th, Kuching on the 9th of October, and then KK on the 16th of October. Go to Goggler MY's Instagram page where you can find out all the information about all the movies that are going to be screened, and there is going to be a special 4K restoration screening of Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. So it's going to be a pretty awesome festival. Check out our Instagram page for all the details. Also check out JF_Kuala Lumpur. Follow them on Instagram as well for all the latest updates. You will not be disappointed. Bahir and I are super excited about this year's festival. And another great movie that is going to be at this year's Japanese Film Festival is called Northern Food Story. It is a documentary that's set in Hokkaido that chronicles the life of 4 chefs and their relationships with the farmers that give them produce and the wonderful prefecture of Hokkaido as well. And let me tell you right off the bat, this is unlike any food documentary I have ever seen. And the reason being that Tetsuya Uesugi, the director, has taken an insane approach to this. He's kind of put his camera like a fly on the wall as he's chronicling the lives of these individuals over a 90-day period. I think he shot for 90 days. And then he's taken all of this footage and edited it down into this one food documentary that has no narrative to speak of, but is a collection of moments that gives you tremendous insight into how these individuals work, how the people who supply their food work, and more importantly, even about the people who sit down at their restaurants and enjoy their food. You get glimpses of kitchen life, you eavesdrop on conversations among diners, you visit the farms where the vegetables come from, you get to see Hokkaido's snowscapes in all of its glory. It's tremendous, and yet it just is. It just kind of
exists, yeah.
Right? This isn't fucking Netflix oversaturated food porn close-ups and some guy preaching the wonders of farm to table and how we're all bad for eating McDonald's. Like, this is none of that shit. This is just... I don't know how to describe it, but I love it so much. It's his first movie, Bahir. It's his first
bonkers.
movie, and he has the balls to do something like this. It is insane.
You say balls, but at the same time, I would say this kind of film can only exist in Japan.
Sure, but how many first-time directors do you know who will not feel the need to interject and ask a question or give their opinion? Or, I mean, sure, don't get me wrong, opinion exists in the edit, right? Because he has hours and hours of footage, and in any documentary, the edit is the opinion, it is the director's vision. And sure, there is a message there, but it's still incredibly subtle and nuanced.
Whatever messaging the director puts into this film, I won't say is accidental, but it's really by way of staying out of the story. This is the kind of thing that can only exist in Japan. You're right. For a first-time director, this feels like a stretch, but at the same time, you know there's a market for stuff like this in Japan. So he probably wants to be that kind of director, making those kinds of movies and documentaries. So it can exist in Japan, but probably nowhere else in the world. But I think Northern Food Story is probably the hardest thing for me to recommend at this year's edition of the Japanese Film Festival, only because it is so good, but you almost want to include a warning to audiences in that there almost isn't a story here to be told. You're really just peeking in on these different chefs and restaurants. You're not hearing about the design of the food or why the restaurant looks the way it looks or how this chef went from being an almost joke apprentice at a different sushi place to now opening his own small little sushi spot and having 5, 6, 7 regulars that keep coming back. Oh, look, there's that old lady in the back wearing her kimono who just wears a kimono because she loves it and not because she's going to a special occasion. We don't hear her backstory. We don't know anything more about all this, right? So the director isn't zooming in on these little exchanges. He isn't giving the audience background information about the other chef's apprentice who moved from Tokyo because Tokyo was too high paced and he wanted a slightly more relaxed life in Hokkaido. You just get that as a piece of dialogue from them and you never see them again. You never hear from them again. And it's both easy and hard. It's hard if you're coming into this wanting a story. But if you come into this just letting the vibes wash over you, I think you'll have a great time.
But by doing that, I think what director Tetsuya does is actually allow you to feel everything that is happening. Because he's removed the exposition completely. And by removing the exposition, you are left to make up your own mind. And you are left to feel what is happening on screen. If you could taste it, you could taste what was happening on screen. I mean, all of it is so vivid and real and in your face in the best possible way because they're just moments that are happening. And so you're experiencing almost the full scope of what these chefs and Hokkaido and these farms and these residents have to offer in small, beautiful bites, right? I love the fact that it feels like you are the fly on the wall. It feels like you are eavesdropping on it. It feels like you are randomly walking through the streets of Hokkaido and experiencing these restaurants. Like the camera is always fixed. And so it almost feels like you're sitting at a table and just watching over what is happening. I love that. Like, I don't think I've seen that in a documentary before. Not in this way. There are no talking heads. There are just fleeting conversations as the camera brisks past someone.
Yeah.
That's it. It's quiet. It's confident. It's beautiful. Like, as I was watching it, I just kept thinking, wow, this is so beautiful.
It is so relaxed and calming as well. It never feels like there's an inherent tension in any of these stories. Nobody's really concerned about, well, I mean, there was that one exchange about the produce from the farms not coming through this season, but it never becomes a bigger thing. It never becomes a, oh, my restaurant is running out of...
Because that's what they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, right?
Exactly.
It isn't
You
a
just
moment
deal.
of drama. It isn't a moment of conflict. It is just life. It is work. It is what they have to do.
I still think this is one of the harder things to recommend to someone, but I feel like if you like food stuff, you should definitely check this out.
A lot of what is being shown at JFF this year is food related because that is the theme of the festival. So if you like food, definitely check out Northern Food Story. But I think if you want a new experience, because I think we go to cinema to get new experiences of films as well. And a lot of the time when you think documentary, you have a certain idea in your head. And you're not wrong. Because if you watch anything on Netflix or anything on the streaming services, we have access to more documentaries than ever before. And if you watch any of them, you know the template. Right now, you know what it's like when the person walks into a room, pulls up a chair and is like, should I sit here? Is this okay? You know, like there is a template, right?
Yeah.
And you know how it plays out. You know where the reveal is going to happen. And you know how every act is going to play out. And then Northern Food Story comes along. And let me tell you, by the end of this movie, you are informed. You have more knowledge about Hokkaido, about food, about people than you did a few hours before. And all of this is done in an incredibly new and fascinating and quiet way. And I think if you want to experience that, then this is definitely on the top of our recommendations because it is completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go check out Northern Food Story. It is showing as part of the Japanese Film Festival 2025. You can get your tickets at the GSC app or the GSC website. You can check the Goggler page or the Japan Foundation Kuala Lumpur Instagram page to find out showtimes. Check it out. Let us know what you think once you've seen it. You know how to reach out. We're on Instagram on GogglerMY. You can also email us on podcast@goggler.my or send us a WhatsApp on the Goggler hotline 012-524-5208. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Goggler Podcast.